RR is back in this, and today I have a special Lego treat for all you fans out there. This is set 75288, a 1,267 pieces. It's the new AT-AT. In my opinion, this is the definitive AT-AT, even better in most respects to the kind of UCS set that came out many years ago that was motorized. I feel like they improved the head on this thing greatly. So here is the box. You can see the minifigs down here. This is very similar to the set that came out 3 or 4 years ago, except now you get Luke Skywalker, but you get General Veers, 2 AT-AT drivers, and 2 snow troopers. I'll show you the back here. This is not a UCS set. This is just a standard set that's come out. I got it from Target and it was destroyed as expected. The box is all busted up. But you know, I guess you win some, you lose some. So you can get the 3 figures in the head, which we'll certainly do a review when it's complete. But there's your box. It's a pretty big box. You know, it's not too thick. This set retails for a little over $150. You can get it at Target. If you have a red card, you get 5% off. This is the instruction manual. It is one manual, not too crazy. And there's nothing special in this, which is as expected because it's not a special UCS set or anything out of the norm. Here's your instructions from a bag perspective. There are 8 bags. That's bag 1 through 4. And here's bag 5 through 8. All right, enough chit-chatting, to the build. Good evening, CC and RR fans. I've been building this AT-AT, and I am on to bag 5, so I've completed 1 through 4, so technically half the set. Bag 1 really wasn't much of anything. You get the little speeder bike, the gunner, and 2 snow troopers and Luke, which we'll review in greater detail a little bit later. But the bulk of what you build in bag 2, 3, and 4 is this, the body of the AT-AT. This is a complete redesign of the, I don't know, 3, 4-year-old AT-AT that came out not too long ago. But this is a complete redesign. I have to say, it's amazing how they try to get things built differently, but there's a lot of nooks and crannies on this. So people have big fingers. Getting in here and building all this is kind of interesting. All in here, it's kind of weird how they have you build a little bit of this when you're trying to get in there and clamp all this together. But this is the mechanism for the blaster that Luke uses to climb up in to the AT-AT with his detonator. Now you have an interior on the AT-AT, which is nice. You get 5 seats on this guy, and that's what you built. And we're going to look at this in more detail a little bit later, but here's so far what we got. And you can see the gun hanging from the bottom, which I'll show you a little later on in the trap door. But yeah, bag up to 4. Here's going to be the head. There's a little bit of rubber in there to make this kind of turn a little bit nicely and smooth. This is going to be, this could completely open up for the speeder bike to go in as well. So a lot more to go. There's the back so far. And there's that side. Even these pieces on the older one was a pretty straightforward. This, they just made it, I don't want to say more complicated, but definitely a different technique to get it to where it is now. All right, fans, on to bag 5. All right, so here we are, the finished product. The AT-AT, the definitive AT-AT in my opinion. So let's jump into all the goodies. So you're gonna get 5 minifigs. That's General Veers. He's pretty cool looking. A little bit of an update from the previous model. I like his hat there. There's his back print. Take off his hat here. There's his other face. There you go. Then you get 2 snow troopers, and the snow troopers themselves don't have any distinction on their chest or their legs here. And you see their backs. You do not get a backpack with these guys. To pop their heads off. There's one face and none on the back. They are different face prints. So here, just to show you, they are slightly different. One looks like he may have had a long night at the rave with the glow sticks, and the other one got a good night's sleep, as you can clearly see there. All right, this is me here playing with Lego, and this is CC after I can't do a show because I'm playing with Lego. You can clearly see a distinctive difference. All right, let's move on. Here are your AT-AT drivers. Get a close-up of that helmet. Pretty sweet. Very nice detail. And I'll show you the body there. No distinct difference on the bodies of these guys either. There is a face difference. No double-sided face, though, as well. All right, you can see the head difference here. Let's see here. There you go. And then lastly, you get Mr. Luke Skywalker with his little bommy there. Comes with his lightsaber, no pistol or anything like that. You do get the grappling hook, although that is on the AT-AT. Pop his helmet off. There's his double-sided face. Now, in bag 1, like I was saying earlier, you build this little speeder bike. There's not much to this, but it's definitely, you know, they've improved on the speeder bikes over the years, and this one is no exception. It's pretty basic, but it's a nice addition that you actually can put in the AT-AT, which is pretty sweet. And then you also get the little the little turret gun here. And again, it's relatively basic for the set. But obviously, the main attraction is going to be the AT-AT. And what I will say is that it's not necessarily much bigger or much smaller than the other AT-ATs they've made, at least not the motorized version. It's definitely a little bit smaller than that. But the one that they just came out with a few years ago is not necessarily too much bigger or too much smaller. The way that I can describe this, if you're trying to pick which one you want, this one is definitely more refined. It's definitely tighter, and it's definitely better looking all in all, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into building this. So that is the way it looks from sort of a profile. And we're going to go into the features of this thing. All right, so let's start up at the head. So you're going to get articulation from side to side in 2 places, you can see. This is all new. This is steering wheels, actually, for a Technic car. But the head is the biggest difference on this AT-AT compared to previous models. And to me, this is where it makes all the difference, because they finally got the head right on the AT-AT for sure. You get your little turrets. These can move up and down. Both sides. These don't do anything, although there are stud shooters under here. So you could put a stud shooter underneath here, if I could get it in the hole. As you can see, it's right there. And it does look cool underneath. You can see the red. You do get 4 of these. So you can blast off at least 4 times. The top opens. It's got a new type of top. It can actually open sort of 2 ways to get full access. And again, the interior on this is significantly upgraded than previous models. So those are not stickers. Those are prints, and it's definitely worth saying that there's no stickers in this set. So I will show the figures in there in a little bit, but you can get 2 AT-AT drivers and general gears in the cockpit with the top closed, which I'll show in a little bit. So you can see all the way into the front, but significant upgrade there. This is also built very sturdy compared to previous versions. They were just kind of hung on by little hooks. Matter of fact, they were hung on by these type of pieces. This is much better all around. All right, so you get this door opens here with an up panel like that. You can do the same thing on the other side as well. And get this open so you can see that. Opens up very similarly. That gives you full access to the interior where you get 5 seats in there. And this is nice too because this is the first time you've sort of gotten an interior in an AT-AT. And then the other piece here, before we get into the features, is that this opens up as well, so you sort of have access in here. Oh no! Well, I guess I just got shot down, so I'll be back. All right, back in this biatch. So clearly there's some balancing issues if you open these top doors up at the same time. So here's the back of the unit. This is with the top open and the bottom. This is where your speeder bike is gonna fly into. Slides right in that hole, right like that. Nice and secure. This closes up. Hope I don't destroy this again. And it closes up nicely like that. And you can see it's kind of chilling right in the middle there. So that's definitely a nice little feature. All right, so let's close these doors. Well, actually, no, we're gonna show you the other feature. So the other feature, which is definitely a welcome addition to the set, is at the top here. This opens, and you see there's a yellow crank there. And that yellow crank is what pulls down the grappling hook for Luke to shoot up and put in his bomb. So what happens is, let's close this because clearly we got some balancing issues there. So underneath the belly here, there's a little door, and I'll show it to you on the other side because that's where it is. You got your little door here, and you could put the little detonator in there to blow it up. And it's nothing special underneath that. It's just kind of cool that they kind of added this little door here for you to get in and reenact the scene where he blows up the AT-AT. So an added feature that you really didn't get on previous versions as well. And this crank, you know, you just crank it all the way up, and then you won't even see it if you don't want the gun to show, which is also kind of nice. Those are your main features. You do get articulation in the legs here and here on every leg, and then you have a little bit down in this area here. This is a little bit movable at the bottom as well. They redid these legs a little bit as well, and I do think they're better. I mean, this right up here is a little weird on each side, and then the other part that's a little weird is on the top of the head. There's no effort to kind of cover that up, but then you're going to be hindered by this piece over here. When you try to open this up, it's going to cause some problems. So, you know, that's kind of a little awkward, but nonetheless, this is not technically a UCS set, so you know, it's not going to be 100% detailed or perfect. But I will say that this is by far, to me, the best AT-AT they've done. And if you're looking to get one, now is the time to get this beaut. So I'm going to cut and I'm going to put the figures in so you can see what they look like. See you in just a minute. Well, after about 15 minutes and sweating to get these figures in, I finally did. So here you go. It is tight. It is tight like a high school prom date, if you know what I'm talking about. Tight in there. You get 3 figures in, and that is literally all you're getting in. They do fit in on studs, but there is not a stud left over. So I'm glad they were able to incorporate all 3 figures in there. You know, again, if they were to make this any bigger, it would have been nicer, but it is what it is. Now, I will say that you could pop this forward a little bit if you need to get in there and get these figures in, which is a nice little added piece there. Not sure it was meant for that, but nonetheless, for those of you who have bigger hands, you're definitely going to have to do that to get those figs in. So that is your AT-AT. Pretty sweet. Definitely would recommend it. Here's the top view of it. Again, this is a little weird up in here, but you know, they made this whole thing modular almost so you could open it all up and get all the goodies out of it and play with it. This was definitely a play set type of build. Let's see if I can get, you can see underneath the stud shooters. You can't really see much under there. And then lastly, one more shot of the face, and I'll put Luke on there. There is Luke getting ready to blow up the AT-AT. He's got this little opening there. He's gonna blow it up. So the only knock besides this kind of stuff up in the top where it's gapped is that typically Lego does a pretty cool job of giving you storage. It would have been nice to have some storage for the other shooters and the guns and stuff, but that's a minor gripe. I mean, they could have put something in the inside of here, but you know, that's a minor gripe. All in all, definitely recommend it. It is worth the purchase. All right, CC and RR fans, stay tuned for more Lego goodies and more CC and RR shows ahead. Bam!